So I thought I was the exception to the rule, the exception to a lot of rules, actually, and that's just a silly way of lying to myself. So I can do things that I want to do and ignore the consequences until you can no longer ignore the consequences. Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Ann Homick from Homick Advanced Chiropractic, and this is Brain Snob, episode number 112, and this is my confession. I used to tell people what they needed to do for their health, how to protect their health. Well, I still do that now, but here's the confession part. I tell people what they need to do, and I wouldn't do it myself. Why? Because I thought I was magically protected. Nothing would harm me, and stress would just roll off of my back so easily. And if I ate too much of a certain food, don't worry, it was no big deal because I'm the exception to the rule. I talk about that a little bit in my ebook that's now out on Kindle. It's called What Side of Stubborn? Why Do No Harm Means Undoing Decades of Harm. So for the price of a newspaper, you can get the book on Kindle. I talk about my personal story. I don't get into dramatics, although I could have. I didn't go very deep into some situations, but I have enough examples of my own life to show why I am where I am today, and I feel like I've learned a lot, and I did have to undo decades of harm because I was stuck on old ideas, old beliefs that were not serving me, that probably don't serve anybody, and we are stuck on some scientific things that are incorrect, and I bring that out into the coaching opportunity with people because I have now Brain Sense Telehealth. So this story, my own story, is an example of how people can go from a side of stubborn that isn't healthy, that isn't serving, to a different side of stubborn that actually works out better for you. I call it a side of stubborn because now I'm on a side of stubborn that I will heartily defend because it's just worked out better. And part of it is letting go of old ideas, and I work through that with people and help them discover their hidden new self. So this is like a launching pad to understanding where you can go as well. With the BFA protocol, Brain First Always, I teach people how to move their brain, feed their brain, and talk to their brain. And now you have access to it through Brain Sense Telehealth. Why do I call it Brain Sense? Because the brain makes the body so you can make your life. And sometimes you can't make sense of anything if you're frustrated and you're falling through the cracks. You don't have to make sense of it. Just make brain sense. And I teach people how the brain works, how the nervous system utilizes the information in the environment, the stimulation, and how it helps to turn on that healing activity in the body. But sometimes it gets overwhelmed and you get a chaotic response from your very own nervous system. And I want your nervous system to take care of you. I don't want your nervous system to harm you. And I teach that to people because it's kind of, it's not a totally confusing idea, but it can sound kind of complicated unless you've unraveled it in an organized way. And I try to do that with folks in their coaching sessions. And now, I want to help you think about the challenges you may be having where your health isn't serving you and you don't feel like you're getting enough results from your health habits, because a lot of people are falling through the cracks, and my job is to help fill the cracks so you don't fall through the cracks. And sometimes healthcare feels like unfinished business. You get some improvements, things work, the things you're doing seem to fall into place, but then you hit a plateau, or you just don't go any farther. And I call that unfinished business. When you have half a solution, you still have half a problem. And half healthy is still half sick. And I want to go farther. And that's my goal, to help you get beyond that place where you're stuck. So I help people understand how the brain works, how to move the brain, feed the brain, talk to the brain. And the first step is talking to the brain, understanding how the brain works, understanding where you've come from, where you've hit those little sticking points that resulted from some old ideas that we need to kick to the road and start using some better habits. Here's what I want you to do. Think about this. I've got a few questions that'll help tie it all together for yourself so you can get organized and you can get into the coaching relationship, so you can make nice plans for yourself and see things changing for the better. But here's some of these questions. Here's the first one. Describe for yourself your health habits that you are doing well. Always start on a positive note. You are doing great things. You just need to bump it up a little bit more. And that's where the coaching relationship comes in. Here's the next question. Describe for yourself your health habits that you aren't doing as well. Things you want to improve. And the next question is, describe for yourself the stressful things you actually have control over. Things that you can change, things you can modify, things that you can put into action. Next question, you guessed it. Describe the stressful things that you cannot control. And the next question, would you like to address stresses that you aren't even aware of yet? Yes. In my own lifestyle and my studying and reading, I'm focusing on things that I really didn't have on my radar, but it's time to put on my radar. So there's stresses you may not even be aware of yet. So I want to share that with you and help you in your self-discovery. Another question. In what areas are you currently relaxing your side of stubborn? Got to get more positivity in there, because you are doing some good things for yourself. And I just have to teach you how to use your tools more proficiently. You've got the tools already. They're at your fingertips. Sometimes we just need a little bit of coaching on how to do it well and how to use the tools to your advantage. That's exciting. Feel positive and uplifted about that. Now, the last part of my icebreaker questionnaire, or just things you can journal and keep track of for yourself, keep track of your progress. The last section is, do you have any signs of brain drain? And these are the signs. So it's a yes or no question, but you can delve into it more deeply. So here are the 5 things. Stiff, sore joints, that's one. High blood pressure. Digestion problems, and it can be a little or a lot. It's just digestion problems that are annoying to you. 4th, fatigue and or shortness of breath with the fatigue. And then the 5th is brain fog and or anxiety associated with that brain fog. These are signs of brain drain, and I help people dive into those and figure out how they can boost their health with some modifying of lifestyle through moving the brain, feeding the brain, and talking to the brain. So, I'm glad you're here. We need your full participation in the world. We need your time and your talents. We need you, but you can't do things with an impaired brain or brain drain, and I want to help improve that for you. So, find out about BrainSense Telehealth, how we can put that to work for you. Check out the Kindle book, What Side of Stubborn Why Do No Harm means undoing decades of harm, and it's on Kindle right now. And all you have to do is say, I'm ready to dive in, and let me know where you're headed. Thanks, and look for the next video.